How's it going, everybody? It's Janet Hinageshi. So you probably know by now about the Japanese Yuyu Hakusho music CDs, where all the original voice actors from the show sing in character, but the songs really weren't all that popular outside of Japan. Today I'm going to talk about a song called DACHI that's sung by Kuwabara. This is still one of the buffer songs I chose to do ahead of time before going by which song had the most votes, but this song actually did get a vote on YouTube, so this will be my third individual song analysis. There are three versions of DACHI: the original version, the instrumental karaoke version, and the dance mix. The original version is on 6 albums: the Second Music Battle CD, the Memorial CD Box, Collective Songs, the Complete Collection of Anime Theme Songs and Character Songs Ketsei-Ban Definitive Edition, the 25th Anniversary Single Record Box, and the 30th Anniversary Single Record Box. The karaoke version is only on the Passionate Singing Edition 2 Duet and Karaoke Special album, which has some character dialogue afterwards where Keiko and Koenma introduce Keiko's song Dona Toki Demo Anata to Mezamatai as the next track, and then the dance mix is on the Super Dance Mix CD. So this song's title isn't written in kanji. It's simply just written in English letters in all caps. While Tomodachi means friends, Dachi is more like buddies or bros. It's more informal, more boyish. Its meaning is actually discussed among the characters during the track DJ Time 6, a drama dialogue from the Super Dance Mix CD. Botan tells Kuwabara that she really likes the song Dachi because it exemplifies the beauty of male friendship. Yusuke agrees, claiming that Dachi are very different from Tomodachi. Hiei agrees that the two are indeed very different. Botan asks what the difference is, and Hiei confidently declares that the difference is that Dachi has 2 syllables, while Tomodachi has 4. The other time where the song is discussed is when Kuwabara and Koenma give advice on how to sing it for karaoke on the Passionate Singing Edition 2 Duet and Karaoke Special album, and the dialogue after Hiei's song Kuchibue ga Kekoeru, which is the track before Dachi. Koenma says to put strength into your abs and project from deep in your stomach, and Kuwabara says if you mumble in a small voice, it won't shine at all. Shigeru Chiba sings as Kuwabara, who he voiced in the anime. Masaki Akashio is credited as the composer, and he also composed Hiei's song Kuchibue ga Kekoeru. Toshiyuki Mori is the arranger who also arranged Yusuke's songs Tough and Tsukanoma no Sunset, along with Keiko's song Dona Toki Demo Anata to Mezamatai. He also composed Yusuke's song Dead or Alive Toshin, Chu's song Ma no Me Yo, and another of Kuwabara's songs called Ayan ni Thank You. Genziro Akiya wrote the lyrics for Dachi, but also Cry Lonely Cry, which I previously analyzed in a video. He's also the lyricist for Yusuke's song Dead or Alive Toshin, Kuwabara's Ayan ni Thank You, Chu's Ma no Me Yo, and Itsuki's Never Ending Dreams. So for the original version, it's in G major and has 117 beats per minute. The music starts out with some guitar and piano, and then there's a nice drum beat. You'll hear a bit of an organ sound sprinkled throughout the song, and it has a little solo during the breakdown. The guitar gives it a very youthful, masculine feel, while the piano adds a very pretty, yet endearing sound to it. And then during the lyrics, the guitar sounds a little smoother and cleaner. It's upbeat, but very modest, though it does have some parts you can belt out, or at least drawl out. I can honestly picture Kuwabara singing this in a karaoke bar. Like, he gets more and more sloshed as the song goes on, and then at the end, he's stumbling around trying to lean on Yusuke and Kurama like, I love you guys, and then they have to carry him home. The karaoke version is just the instrumental version of the original song, while the dance mix has a disco beat that reminds me of Season 3 and a recurring bum bum that you sort of hear in the original version, but it's more singled out and choppier. It has a more bare bones feel to it. The bum bum kind of reminds me of the sound you hear in Gorilla's Melancholy Hill. The dance mix does have some turntables in the outro and someone adding in some lyrics with reverb like, come on y'all. I guess it's a DJ. You know that moment in the Sensui saga where Kuwabara runs out to go see Megallica? I feel like there should be a music video where he gets up on stage to sing this remix during the concert. So you've heard me mention OVAs before, but let me actually explain what they are for those who don't know. OVA stands for Original Video Animation. It's a term used in anime that refers to media that was often released directly to home video on VHS or DVD, for example. Think of those old Disney sequels like Return of Jafar. But OVAs can also be things other than movies like short stories or songs. Yu Yu Hakusho has quite a few OVAs out there, and some of the songs from the CDs were featured in OVAs. There are two visual types set to the Yu Yu Hakusho OVA songs. They're either set to clips from the anime, or they're set to a brand new video animation made specifically to be viewed with the song. I refer to those second types as OMVAs, which stands for Original Music Video Animation. It's not a real term, just one I made up to differentiate between a song set to clips from the show. DACHI has its own OMVA, and boy is it strange. I feel like it's referencing some Japanese lore I'm not familiar with. It starts out with a black and white image of a little girl wearing a kimono in the snow. I think she's holding a ball or something. Then it fades out and the music starts as images of Kuwabara fade in. He looks older and harsher. There's images of snow falling, him training, him sitting with other men, him taking off an oni mask, a field of flowers, and then he's standing in the field of flowers like he's dressed for the winter. He's got on what looks like Togoro's trench coat with a yellow sweatshirt underneath, a winter hat, and small pink glasses. All sorts of strange stuff. Then there's a quick few seconds of what looks like the back of Togoro and maybe a woman walking with him through the woods as someone else approaches. Now maybe it's actually Kuwabara and not Togoro since they wear the same trench coat now, I guess, but the hair looks more like Togoro. Whoever it is, it looks like he's carrying a briefcase or luggage. I don't know who those people are, but they're gone within seconds. Then it shows a red comb, a woman with dark hair, and then you see Kuwabara walking away. Then you see trees and snow, a bunch of men sitting in a temple, and then you see a little girl from earlier, but now she's with who I assume is the dark-haired woman from a moment ago, holding a parasol while it snows. Kuwabara sits in the snow looking very serious, then a Japanese no mask starts crying. It shows the comb again and a few other shots, then Kuwabara sitting in a building outside watching snow. And then it ends on a shot of Kuwabara as it zooms out and fades to black. I don't know what any of it means. The song is also shortened, by the way. I feel like they asked Kuwabara to make his own music video, and that's what he came up with. He was like, I want to look really cool. How do I look cool? Togoro looked pretty cool. I'll dress like him. Yukina couldn't make it, so I'll use another pretty girl as her stand-in. Have me older and manlier, and we'll have a little girl in it to be our future daughter. Yeah, that's it. And I'll include lots of cool shots of the snow and stuff. My other guess is that maybe he was trying to put himself in Togoro's shoes back when he was human for whatever reason. I feel like the video doesn't really match the lyrics nor the music. If you could give me some insight as to what you think might be going on in the video, please let me know in the comments. What I really like about a lot of these songs is that they're very observational. They have a more passive voice and take note of the reality the characters live in and how they think and feel. Whereas in the show, the characters are viewed more from the outside by their actions and spoken words, while these songs really give us an inside look. They really do bare their souls in these songs with honesty and vulnerability. This song shows that Kuwabara has a very humble self-awareness you don't see too often in the series. So most of these lyrics can be divided into two main themes. The first theme is how Kuwabara feels among his friends, especially considered the meaning of the title. I want to actually start with the last line of the song, which translates to, talking about friendship is embarrassing. Looking at that last line, you can see Kuwabara as one of those guys who has trouble discussing his more tender feelings. While we saw in the series that he has no problem expressing his enthusiasm for Yukina and his loyalty to his teammates, he feels uneasy opening up about how much he really cares for his friends. In an earlier part of the song, he says to them, "We're always chasing dreams that were never meant to be. We're just fools, that's who we are. Nothing ever goes our way. But someday we'll surely meet our destiny." Here, he notes that despite how they might struggle individually, he really hopes for the best for them. There are also a few stanzas talking about how well they all work together as a team, like how they strike with force and always move straight ahead. Now going to the opening lines of the song, Kuwabara narrates what happens. In the dead of night with nowhere to go, the one I called out wasn't the girl I'm in love with, it was you. So it's like he has a problem one night, and he wants to go for a walk with his friends to figure things out. The fact that he turns to his friends and not Yukina really says a lot here. He goes on to narrate, "Even a strange night like this isn't so bad sometimes. Without saying a word, wow, we started walking." This takes us to the second theme of the lyrics, Kuwabara expressing humility and vulnerability. So as I said, he has a problem one night, and he wants to go for a walk with his friends to figure things out. And he's surprised that they just show up and start walking with him. Wow. So going back to that first theme about how much he cares about his friends, yet how the last line reveals that he's uncomfortable talking about it, he admits that doing so isn't really all that bad. So he takes this moment to really appreciate how his friends, his DACHI, are there for him. Other vulnerable lyrics talk about how Kuwabara doesn't see himself as cool, and when he tries to act like he is, he ends up getting hurt somehow. And then he says that even though he isn't cool, he is always honest. Now, if you look at the other three, Yusuke, Hiei, and Karama, they're all naturally charismatic. Kuwabara is definitely the odd one out of the group in many ways. He's the only one who's fully human, he's the least intimidating, the least charismatic, the least respective, considered the least attractive, and he had the most losses in the Dark Tournament. But he never lets any of that stop him. Fans call him the heart of the team for a reason. He knows exactly who he is, and despite all his flaws, he never stops caring, never stops trying, and never stops fighting for what he believes is right. So what did you think of my analysis? Do you agree? Did I get something wrong? Did I leave something out? Do you have a different interpretation? A different translation? Let me know in the comment. If you haven't heard the song yet, go listen to it and then come back and tell me what you think. Also, let me know which song you want me to do next. You've got over 50 to choose from, and you can always refer back to my 16 shorts for a refresher. And be sure to follow me for weekly Sunday video releases to learn more about lesser-known Yu Yu Hakusho content and trivia, such as songs from the Japanese CDs. Don't forget to share the love.